Since Shiku took Yao, her parents still have no idea where she is. So they are absolutely devastated. And so is Yao, because he personally blames himself for not being strong enough to protect her. Now, not only is Yale gone, but the keel isn't responding to him anymore, so he truly is powerless. He still uses teleportation, but his strength has practically been reset as a result of the damage, so there's no hope of him rescuing Yao. Just then, the car pulls up behind Juan, and a woman steps out with an umbrella. She walks up to Wang and says she wants to have a little chat, but Wang isn't in the mood, so he completely ignores her. She then tells him that she knows where you can find Luo, and this gets Wang's attention, since he still has to get revenge on Luo for shooting Yao in the back. He asked her to tell him where Lu is immediately, and she intends to, but first she needs Juan to come with her. She takes Juan to a restaurant, and as soon as the two of them sit down, Wang once again asked her to tell him where Lu is. However, she has one question she would like to ask Juan before she gives him any information. White agrees to listen to her. So she starts by asking why he thinks superhuman abilities aren't public knowledge. Despite all the chaos and destruction they can cause, Juan assumes the extraordinary people are just good at covering their tracks, but the woman tells him he is wrong. She explains that there's actually an organization in charge of covering up all evidence of superhuman activities. Although Juan says he doesn't really care, she tells him that he should start caring because she's been protecting him from the shadows for a long time now. But Wang finds it funny that she would claim to be protecting him when she has 3 dudes in the back, ready to shoot him at any moment. Mu panics a little after realizing that Wang's onto her, so she reaches for the gun in her skirt. However, Wang is already aware of the gun thanks to his spatial awareness, so he tells her to be very careful about her next move. He tells her he doesn't intend to fight her, but he also doesn't appreciate having guns pointed at him. Mu calms down, asks Juan if he doubts her claim that there's an organization in charge of managing the superhumans, but Juan actually believes that part. He hadn't put much thought into it until now. But the fact that there are so many superhumans in the world means there must also be an organization in charge of handling them. However, he doesn't understand what MU wants with him. MU explains that a newly awakened superhuman like Juan is in serious danger of being targeted by other superhumans, which is why she's been going to great lengths to keep him safe, but in exchange, she would like him to return the favor and help her out. A little Juan sees where this is going, so he asks her if she wants him to be a mercenary, like the other two back there. Although after scanning through power levels, one realizes that they are below sea level, so they are nowhere near him in terms of strength. One of whose subordinates warns her that Juan is already above B level in terms of strength, so it might be too risky to ask him for help. She's aware of the risks, but Juan would be a valuable asset, so she tells him he just needs to complete 3 missions for her, and then she'll give him the information on Luo. Juan is fine with doing missions for her, but only on the condition that she also gives him information on Shiku, and to his surprise, MU agrees without a second thought. She slides a folder across the table and tells Wine this will be his first mission. He's going to be acting as a bodyguard for a person of interest, but Wine doesn't like the sound of that because it probably means he's going to have to skip a lot of classes. Mo assures him that he doesn't need to worry, because the job will only take 1 day. You'll be working as a bodyguard in State H, and he will be paid 50,000 for the job, which is a lot higher than what Gwen was expecting. Wong is starting to get suspicious and asks why she thinks he would trust her, but the fact that she brought him here for a friendly chat should be enough to prove that she means no harm, aside from the gun she nearly pulled on him. That aside, Juan will still need to take an assessment test to prove that he is qualified enough to fulfill the job, so she looks forward to seeing how well he performs. Mu and her team then get up to leave his shop, and Juan is left alone with the mission folder. He really doesn't like the idea of working for these strange people, but if he wants to rescue Yao, he needs as much information as he can get. And right now, MU is the only one with that information. While MU was in the car with her subordinate, he asked her why she chose to ask someone like Wang for help. Wang is far too unpredictable for them to reliably control, and Mu understands that, but you can't expect to gain without taking on some risks. And unless she is willing to take a risk on Juan, she'll never be able to grill her organization. Besides, she already did a thorough investigation on Waring, and he seems like a good kid. It's been a month since he awakened his powers, and he hasn't done anything evil yet. He also managed to fight off several B-level fighters, which is why he is classified as B-level in their records, but she has a feeling that he is capable of so much more. The entire time, Juan has been eavesdropping on the conversation since he placed his cube on Mu's car and is hiding in the subspace. He now knows that Mu's just using him for gain, and he has a little relief, since it'll be easier to deal with her if all she wants is to use Juan to raise her organization's reputation. However, as he continues listening, he huges Mu's subordinate, asks her if she really intends to give Wine all the information May have on Luo, since if people find out that they leak info like that, it might cause trouble for them. Mu tells him not to worry, because she already thought about that. And since Wang doesn't know anything about the Luo family, she can just give him some non-classified information to get him off their backs. After hearing this, Wang's enraged because Mu's trying to play him for a fool. He isn't going to let her get away with this. But for now, he decides to play along with Mu's game because he has no other leads on Luo or Shiku. The next day, Won heads to the location for his assessment, but he's starting to get confused because the GPS he got from Mood just LED him to a random forest. He's starting to wonder if he might be lost. But then he spots a house hidden among the trees, and as he approaches, the front gate opens for him. Inside the mansion, several other fighters have already gathered, and they are all here for their assessment just like Juan. And a few minutes after he arrives, a man steps in front of everyone and tells them that the assessment is about to begin. His name is Shu, and he tells all the participants that for them to be chosen for the bodyguard role, they need to be loyal, observant, quick and strong as such. The tests will be used to grade their suitability for the role, and the first test will require them to demonstrate their observation skills. The first test room is basically a casino, and the rules are simple. Each contestant will be given 5 chips to play with, and they are required to obtain 10 chips to advance to the next level. And stealing is strictly forbidden, so chips can only be obtained by winning games against your competitors. Wang wasn't expecting a test like this, but he's glad he doesn't have to fight anyone here. The only problem now is he has no idea how to win chips in this game. A man walks up beside him and says all he would need to do is win 5 more chips to advance, but it's obviously not going to be that simple. He advises Wang to stay away from all the slot machines, since even regular casinos rig their slot machines, so there's no way either of them could win a jackpot here. Statistically, a game of high-low should give him the good chance of success. The unicorn card games here are rigged, so playing against the house will almost always guarantee a loss. With that said, he has a proposal to make to Wang. But he suddenly realizes that Wang left a couple of minutes ago to find a game he can win. Meanwhile, Wang is walking around the casino when he happens to find a game that requires you to find a coin hidden under a cup. The guy who was playing just now lost all his chips to the keep attendant, and Wang can tell that there's a scam here, but he's not sure what it is yet. Just then, the man from before comes over and asks him if he would like to place a bet against him. In the cup game, Wang asks him if he's sure he wants to do that, since it seems like something fishy is going on here. But the guy thinks Wang is a novice, so as long as he bets against Wang, there's no way he can lose. He begins taunting Wang and asking if he is scared. But this game is actually perfect for him, since he has spatial awareness, so Wang eventually accepts the man's challenge. He throws all his chips on the table and says he's going all in, so the man does the same, thinking he's going to win all of Wang's chips. The other guy is doing his best to keep track of the cups with his eyes, but by the time the lady is done shuffling, Wang smiles because he finally figures out what the scam here is. The lady asks the players to make their guesses, and the man is sure the coin must be under the left cup, but when it's Wang's turn to guess, he says the coin is in the lady's hand. Everyone thinks Wang is crazy, and the lady tries to convince him to choose one of the cups instead, but he is sure that the coin is in her hand. She can move the coin from her left hand to her right hand without anyone noticing, just to try and trick Juan, but he won't fall for such petty tricks, so he asked her to open her hands and show everyone. The lady can't hide it anymore, so she is forced to reveal that the coin really is in her hand, making Wine the winner of the bet. Technically, the lady didn't break any rules, since playing dirty isn't forbidden, but the man is sure that he saw a coin under the left cup, so he is still really confused. And after thinking about it a little longer, he suddenly realizes what must have happened. The lady must have had 2 coins in her hand at the start and only put 1 in the cup. Then after the man made his guess, a trap door opened underneath the cup to hide the coin. He pushes the lady aside and starts searching the table for the trap door, but he can't find anything. And since he has no proof, the lady tells him to just accept defeat already. He can't believe he fell for such a simple trick. And he is even more shocked that plain-looking guy, like Juan, was able to see through it. After that, Juan passes the rest of the tests fairly easily, so by the end of the assessment, he and a few other candidates are selected to become bodyguards for the mission.